What is going on, guys? Got Tone here, bringing you my week 4 match of season 2 of the IBL. This week we go up against my good friend Brendan here, the co-founder of the league as a whole. We battled Brendan last season, and I believe I won like 2-0 or something like that. But to be fair, his team this season is arguably a lot better than his season last season, especially switching over from UCL to GBA format. I really had to make sure I had all of my bases covered when it came to his team, because he had a lot of scary mons. And he had that solid balance of both offensive and defensive mons he could rely on. So just to have a quick rundown of Brendan's team as a whole, his team has Latios, Mamoswine, which he franchised from his season 1 team, Shaymin, Empoleon, Aromatisse, Weezing, M-Sableye, Entei, Porygon-Z, Machamp, and Electivire. And my team is the Manaphy, Politoed, Donphan, Dragalge, Delphox, Sneasel, M-Manectric, Tornadus-T, Escavalier, Alomomola, and regular Diancie. So I felt that this team I put together was the best way to handle Brendan's team. I decided to go with sort of a full rain, not full rain, but sort of pseudo rain team, just to like take advantage of Politoed's drizzle. And for the most part, that was my initial strategy going into this, but I was thrown off a bit because the team I was predicting him to bring, he didn't bring the two most important Pokemon I was expecting him to bring. He did not bring the Mamoswine, he did not bring Entei. Two Pokemon I mostly heavily prepared for, because Mamoswine destroys a lot of teams, and Entei can feed off of Mamoswine's ability to break down my team. Ice Resist is my Escavalier, gets worn down by EQ. Entei can Sacred Fire and all that stuff. Diancie can check the Entei, but dies to a Mamoswine Earthquake. So the fact that I didn't see one or the other, much less neither of them, and instead he brought the Shaymin and the Porygon-Z. I predicted everything else pretty much, so I felt pretty confident about that, but I was still kind of shaken, not shaken, but I was just surprised that two big threats to my team, and he didn't bring either of them. So that threw me off. So I tried to adjust. Just to give you a quick rundown of the team that I am bringing. First Pokemon you see, of course, Tornadus-T. Now I made a bit of a mistake here, which kinda comes back to bite me. So my Tornadus-T set, I have U-Turn, Knockoff, Hurricane, and initially I had Grass Knot. Grass Knot allowed me to take out the Mamoswine, as Grass Knot does 98% minimum. So if it was a Life Orb variant, I could pick it off after one round of Life Orb recoil, and I was running Yache Berry on my Torn, so I could take one super effective ice move from the Mamoswine, retaliate with a Grass Knot, and then just go to town on his team. But I also remembered that my if I'm running Grass Knot on for the Mamoswine, I have nothing to touch the Empoleon. So I made a last second change to Superpower, but then at the same time, when I got rid of Grass Knot, I forgot, like toward the end of the battle, that I realized, oh, I forgot to put Superpower on my Tornadus-T. So I essentially went into this match against Brendan with a 3-move Tornadus-T, which was totally my fault. I changed it last second after this team was gen, so that error was solely on me. So it comes back to bite me somewhat, but you'll see. So running enough speed on my Tornadus to outspeed a Latios, which was the fastest Pokemon my Tornadus can outspeed naturally, and it does help me determine what potential Scarfers he had on his team. When I saw what he brought, I assumed that his Porygon-Z was Scarf, his Electivire would potentially be Scarfed, the Shaymin could be Scarfed, Latios could be Scarfed. So a bunch of options Brendan had to bring against me. So that's the Tornadus set. Second Pokemon you see here is the Diancie, which was essentially my win condition once I got rid of the Empoleon and the Mega Sableye. This was a Trick Room Diancie. As you see, his team was very offensive. Diancie puts in a ton of work against his team, actually. So Trick Room, Diamonds, Trick Room, Earth Power. Trying to remember the other moves. It's been a while. It's been a week since I had this battle, so I can't remember off the top of my head. It was Trick Room, Moonblast, Earth Power, and I believe the fourth move was Psychic. Yes, Psychic for the Weezing. Yes. So that was my Diancie set. Life Orb, just max HP, max special attack, quiet nature, all that stuff. Once I got rid of the Empoleon, Trick Room Diancie puts in a ton of work. Plain and simple. Next up we have Politoed here. Very straightforward set on my Politoed with Toxic, Rest, Scald, and Ice Beam. Just straightforward standard Smogon Politoed here. The EV spread's a little bit different. It's mostly specially defensive, so I can take on Brendan's Latios a little bit better. I could somewhat check the Porygon-Z. But of course my Politoed cannot touch the Empoleon, which was an issue. So just basic max HP, 204, special defense, rest and defense, calm nature, just to take special attacks a little bit better. So Politoed's job was just straightforward: set up rain for my teammates and just stay healthy with rest, wear things down with toxic, just straightforward stuff. Next up is the Escavalier, bringing Assault Vest, Escavalier again, Mega Horn, Iron Head, Pursuit, and Knockoff. I could have ran Drill Run for the Empoleon, but at the same time, he could have brought that Weezing, and normally you can't touch it. All the Iron Heads in the world won't save me from a Will-O-Wisp. And I wasn't even attack invested on his Escavalier. It was fully defensive, as it lets me take on the Mamoswine a bit better. As even uninvested, my Escavalier 2 KOs Mamoswine with Iron Head, which is pretty hilarious. So Mega Horn for the Latios, Iron Head for the Mamoswine, Knockoff is Knockoff, and Pursuit to Pursuit Trap the Latios if he wasn't packing HP Flyer. So that's my Escavalier set. Next up, I bring the M-Manectric. Very unique. It's a different set this week as I'm just running all out attacking. This was a substitute toxic M-Manectric with Thunderbolt and Signal Beam. So the idea was that he was going to bring the Mamoswine, switch it in on a predictive Volt switch. I get up a sub, and then I can then proceed to Toxic it, or if it's already poisoned, I can hit it with a Signal Beam. Signal Beam also lets me hit the Shaymin and the Latios, and it provides some decent coverage to go along with Thunderbolt. And for the most part, this was just a way for me to wear it on the Mamoswine and protect it from earthquakes, and it allows me to scout the Mamoswine set, because if he wasn't Scarfed, I would be faster. If he is Scarfed, he would be. So there's that. Enough speed is run on my M-Manectric to outspeed the Latios after Mega Evolution, as it's the fastest Pokemon that my Manectric can outspeed bar Choice Scarfers, max special attack, and 196 HP with a timid nature. Straightforward. Straightforward, but that's pretty much my Manectric set as a whole. And lastly, we have the Tail Glow Rain Dance Manaphy with Scald and Signal Beam as its coverage move. I figured I would contemplate being walled by Empoleon at the expense of, well, Empoleon can essentially wall most of my mons, but at the same time, the lack of recovery that Empoleon naturally has means it can't switch in forever on my Pokemon. So if I can just pressure it even a little bit with any of my mons to get like a burn with the Scald or anything along those lines, I'll be in a lot better position. But at the same time, I had to be wary of if he was like a Calm Mind Mega Sableye. There's also like a Scarf Healing Wish to keep his offensive pressure on my team and keep his offensive mons healthy. Because as you see, he brought a very offensive team with the it's basically 4 offensive mons and 2 glue mons in Empoleon and Mega Sableye. So I knew that would be an issue, but I had to try to work my way around it. So as we begin the battle here, I decided to lead off with my Tornadus. It was like the safest lead against pretty much his entire team, as if he left with Empoleon on the Stealth Rocks, as I'm not bringing Donphan, he get up rocks for free. I could just U-turn out into my Manectric and then substitute as he goes out into Electivire, predicting me to go for Thunderbolt. But knowing that, he just makes a solid play and leads off with his Electivire, as you see. So I'm gonna play the battle. So forgive me if I misremember how the battle, how the turns play out. So so we start this battle here, so issuing that challenge, not bad. So I'm gonna lead off with my Tornadus, as he leads off with Electivire this turn. So here I'm pausing it right here because turn 1 I make a very, very bold move. So I'm thinking Tornadus-T versus Electivire. He's not gonna go for Thunder Punch because I have a non-mega'd Manectric with Lightning Rod. There's no way he's gonna go for Thunder Punch, knowing I can just go out into Manectric. I get a +1 to special attack boost, and then I get a sub. So I make a bold move turn 1, which is very not me. But I figured he's going to predict me to go into Manectric, and I figure he's going to Earthquake me, as this is the only thing I have that can take an Earthquake because it's immune. So I'm going to switch out here, but instead of going into Manectric, as you see, I didn't go into Manectric. I went out into Politoed here, predicting him not to go for Thunder Punch. I'm predicting him to go for an Earthquake. And after I get my rain up, he goes for Thunder Punch anyway, even though I have Manectric. So I barely live on 5, and I just essentially sacked my Politoed. I was like, screw it. Just screw the whole thing. So down goes my Politoed. I'm already down 6-5, and it's already been 2 turns. So with that, I now go out into my Escavalier here. I'm just going to fire off a Mega Horn here, no matter what. In comes the Empoleon here. Really wish I had brought Drill Run this battle. So in comes the Mega Horn, and I miss my Mega Horn. So now he makes a play. He's going to pull a double here into his Shaymin, predicting me not to go out into Mega Horn again. I'm just going to go for Knockoff here. Do some damage. I remove his Choice Scarf. Okay, so he was Scarf Shaymin. He's now going to switch out again. And he's going to go out into his Sableye this turn. So I'm going to go for Mega Horn here. I connect. I am not attack investment. And that does a heck of a lot of damage. I'm not going to stay in. I don't want to get burned. So send out my Tornadus. Didn't really care what happens. So he gets a free Mega Evolution off here. I believe he went for a Recover this turn, predicting me to switch out, which he does. So he's got a decently health Sableye here, as I'm just gonna go for Hurricane. Can't miss in the rain. And judging by that damage, I assumed I come to the conclusion it was a specially defensive Sableye, which was a good bring on Brennan's part. I get the confusion too. He hears some confusion. I'm just gonna go for Hurricane again, as he's gonna hard switch directly into his Empoleon. He went into Electivire here, predicting me to I don't know what he was predicting me to do, but this is a resisted hit from this Electivire here. Rain stops, so Politoed is officially gone here. Goes for the Volt Switch here. He was faster, so he confirmed he was Scarf Electivire. I live. So I believe I went for a U-turn here, predicting him to not go for Volt Switch. Goes out into Porygon-Z here. I get my U-turn off. Oh boy. I get my U-turn off here, and I believe from here I went directly into my I went directly into my Escavalier. I'm just gonna fire off. He goes for a Hidden Power Fire here, which was a solid bring on his part. Live, thank you, Assault Vest. Reveals he's Life Orb, Porygon-Z. I go for the knockoff, just get rid of this Life Orb here. And then from here, I just figure, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna sack the thing off. He goes for a Tri-Attack here, thinking it would knock me out. I live on 6. I get my Iron Head here, and I kill the Porygon-Z. So, Escavalier finally pick up its first kill of the season here. We're now 5-5. Goes out to the Electivire here. I can't do much at all. I'm just gonna let to sack off my Escavalier here to go for the Volt Switch. All well and good. With me sacking off Escavalier, I get Switch Initiative. So Electivire goes back, and in comes the Latios this turn. So I just realized this was my only real decent Psychic switch in. Nevertheless, I do have my Tornadus-T I can just U-turn out on. So I get the U-turn off. Does almost half to this Latios here. Now I had to debate in what I wanted to switch into this Latios. So I figured why not go out into my Diancie, hoping he go for Draco Meteor. He reveals a Thunderbolt. So I eat that up. Thank you, HP. And I've thought about going for a Trick Room this turn, but at the same time, the Empoleon's still around, which made my life a little bit difficult here, and it's full HP. So I'm just gonna go fire off a Moonblast here. Didn't really care. I could have predicted that I went for Earth Power, but didn't want to go through that. Reveal on Life Orb. He gets the Leftovers recovery, and I figured I'm not gonna stay in. He had Flash Cannon, so I'm just gonna pull a switch out into my Manaphy here. Don't really care what he's going to do, and I want to scout this move a little bit more as he goes for this. He gets his Stealth Rocks up, which is fine. Can't get rid of them anyway. He gets more Leftovers recovery, and then I figured, okay, let me just go for a Tail Glow here, just to see what this Empoleon's going to do to me. As he goes for the Roar, so oops. Oh, it's lucky today. Okay, so he roars me out into my Tornadus and take the Stealth Rock damage. And then I realized here that my Tornadus only has 3 moves, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot Superpower. I can't touch it. So now I'm gonna U-turn here into the I'm gonna U-turn out on this Empoleon. Didn't have Superpower. I couldn't touch this thing. So I'm just going to hard switch directly into my M-Manectric here, hoping he went for Roar again. I take the Stealth Rock damage, and then he goes for the Scald. So I take a heck of a lot from this Scald, and I unfortunately get burned too, which absolutely sucks. So I figured I didn't really care. I'm just going to get my Mega Evolution off, and I'm just going to try to do damage on something. I didn't really care what came in. If it was the Electivire, that was fine. Ugh. So, I get my Mega Evolution off here. And I figured that I get my Intimidate and all that stuff. So, From here, I decided just to go for Signal Beam, predicting him to go into Electivire here. It does a decent amount, but at the same time, I'm taking burn damage. I can't switch out. So he goes for Thunder Punch here. He's Scarf Electivire. I am slower, and I live on 3. So I go for Signal Beam one more time, and I just missed out on taking out this Electivire, which absolutely sucks. So I drop to the burn damage here. I send out my Manaphy. I figure I could take one Thunder Punch from this thing. I don't have anything else to take a Thunder Punch. I knew I could take it because I have max HP. So I retaliate with a Scald. Electivire goes down. So crit obviously mattered at this point. Anyway, it's next to being a sort of back in the battle, but that the Empoleon is becoming a very, very big issue. In comes Latios here. He is firing off a Thunderbolt, miss-sacking on my Manaphy. I can't. There's nothing else on my team that can switch into a Thunderbolt. So my Manaphy drops, but it does allow me to get a switch in to my Tornadus-T, taking the Life Orb damage. So I figure from here I just get off a knockoff. I can knock off like a U-turn no matter what. So in comes the Empoleon one more time as I go for the knockoff here. It didn't matter what move I went for. I resume, I get a crit, didn't really matter. And I can't touch it, no superpower. Have to go for Hurricane here and try to get some confusion hacks. Confusion hacks here. Goes for the Roar. So I'm phased out. I go into my Diancie this turn as I'm phased out into. I try to get up a Trick Room here, hoping he would Roar again. And he just goes for the Scald. Knocks out my Diancie. So all I have left now is my Tornadus against an Empoleon, a Shaymin, and a Latios, which absolutely sucks, but can't do anything else. Go for Hurricane here. Fortunately, I do hit. Doesn't do much, but I do get the confusion again. And I figured if I can knock out the Empoleon with the confusion damage, I have a chance to win. He gets the Scald off, down to 23. He withdraws here as he goes out into his Shaymin because his Empoleon's confused. I'm just going to fire off another Hurricane, and I missed. Well, that's a risky run. Go for Hurricane one more time. I connect this time, and down goes the Shaymin. So I make the match a little bit closer, but it's essentially lost because I cannot take out this Empoleon. I would basically have to hope this Hurricane would have connected. Unfortunately, it didn't. He goes for the Scald. Down goes my Tornadus, and that's going to be game. And he finishes me off with a crit too, so that's all well and good. But nevertheless, it was a 3-0 loss in my favor. Superpower. Me not having superpower on the Tornadus-T sucks, but at the same time, the Empoleon was in a position where if I had hit the Hurricane, I could have. It was a roll to knock it out. I also could have got the confusion again, but at the same time, even if I knocked out the Empoleon, I would have to do enough damage to Mega Sableye to the point where Hurricane can knock it out. It wasn't guaranteed. He also could have had Shadow Sneak 2 on the Mega Sableye or the Fake Out or any of that stuff. He didn't reveal that Fake Out or not, and he also had Latios, which he wouldn't have sent out because I was faster. I could have knocked out with a knockoff, or whatever. So, nevertheless, a 3-0 loss to me. We are now 2-2. It's a good game to Brendan. He played very, very well. He played straightforward, which I didn't. I over predicted from the get-go, and it came out to bite me in the butt. So nevertheless, I will bounce back. Next week we play Jose, aka the Shiny Weavile, so I'm looking forward to that. And just as a side note, from the time of this recording, is also the last time I had Politoed on this team, as it is no longer on my team. I instead have picked it up. I dropped it for Lucario. So I have Lucario to go along with the rest of my team. Didn't really need the rain because it benefited the Manaphy, it benefits the M-Manectric, and it benefits the Tornadus-T. But at the same time, I didn't want to rely on bringing full pseudo rain, especially using a mon that I'm probably going to bring on for that situation. So it didn't benefit me. Lucario fits my team a lot better. It gives me the priority that I lost when I initially dropped it for Breloom. I can Sword Dance, Nasty Plot Set, all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing Lucario put in some work for my team, especially heading into the latter stages as we hit the midway point of the season. But nevertheless, I will bounce back. It's a 3-0 loss. I'll take it. There's not much else to say about this battle, but if you did enjoy this battle, I apologize for the constant static of the video of the recording because my computer is acting up a little bit. But if you did enjoy this battle, feel free to hit that like button. And feel free to subscribe if you really enjoy my content. I will try to be uploading. I'll have a more steady schedule as the week progresses because I have a bunch of other stuff lined up. My NES playoff matches coming up in the next couple of days and all that stuff. UBA matches and all that other sort of league battles I have to go through, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that I have everything in check. So until the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone4, or just Tone, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side. Later.